Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's Claudia for those who are new around here. Today we're going to be putting together a new rose obelisk for my garden. It was sent to me courtesy of HPotter to try out and see what I think. Here I am opening the box, and in a minute I'll take everything out and begin to assemble. HPotter is a US-based company that makes a lot of metal work. They make obelisks, trellises, arbors, and so forth. Everything comes wrapped individually to avoid any kind of damage to the metal before it is assembled. You receive in the package screws, all the pieces, as well as detailed instructions. The instructions are fairly simple. I was able to assemble this in no time at all, completely by myself. It is also heavy because it's metal, but it was not something that I could not move by myself. This was assembled shortly after my husband came home from the hospital, and I was able to do it completely by myself as well as move it by myself. So, it is something that the average gardener can assemble and install by themselves. It comes with the actual obelisks, and then it comes with stakes to keep it installed in the ground. So my package came with a thank you for purchasing, we appreciate you letter. I always like that personal touch from anybody that I order something from. It tells you how to care for your trellis and what you need to do in order to make sure you got all the right parts. And then tells you what your parts list is, how it will arrive, and then all the steps you need to take to assemble. So I like a thorough product. Here I am unwrapping each of the individual pieces and getting ready to put them together. I like to do all of the prep work first so I can do an assembly line type assembly. It just goes faster when you do it that way. I was able to get everything unwrapped, stacked, and then look at the instructions to figure out what the best way was to put them together. Here I am unwrapping the side pieces. And as you can see, they are wrapped well with the understanding that there won't be any scratches or dents or damages to your product before you get to use it. And I really like that. It is extremely easy to assemble. The screws screw in first just by hand, and then you come back through with a tool that is provided and tighten them as you once you're done. Here I'm putting on the last piece up top, which gives it that certain oomph that it needs. I love the Gothic look to it and the arches at the top. It's just so well made, and I love the dappled look or the marbling of the metal. Here I am tightening it at the end to make sure everything is nice and firm, and I use an adjustable wrench and get it all nicely tightened. Can you tell that this was shot on one of the hottest days in the summer? I am dripping with sweat by this point. I chose to assemble it under the porch of my studio because it was such a hot day, but I still ended up sweating buckets because of the heat. Here I'm showing you I brought a mallet and the stakes that came with the obelisk to install them. I also have a Deborah Dahl Vancouver clematis to install on that obelisk because purple and red goes really nicely together. The rose that's going to go on this clematis is called 4th of July. It is absolutely stunning. My husband bought it for me, promptly lost the paperwork, and did not know that it was a climbing rose. He gave it to me and I planted it thinking it was a shrub rose in the front border. Except as time went on, it kept sending out shoots and I kept trimming it. And I said, this would be the perfect place to put this obelisk because it this rose deserves it. You know, it's such a special thing from my hubby. So I brought it over, tied up the rose, and got busy installing it. Now, let me tell y'all, it was a battle between me and this rose bush because the canes were old and it did not want to bend, but I got it too. And I was able to position the obelisk exactly where I wanted it after some trial and error. Now, one thing you will notice, it is slightly leaning because there were two trees in this area and some of the roots have not died yet, and I could not find a flat enough surface to position it. So eventually it'll settle and I'll drive the stakes in further, but for right now it's perfectly acceptable. It is not in any danger of falling over and it looks really, really good. I cannot wait over the next couple of years for this rose to fully intertwine and for this clematis to grow up this and for the purple and the red to truly play together. It's going to be beautiful. On the trellis. It was quite interwoven with that plastic trellis that came from the store, and it had several buds on it. I will say that by the end of the season, it did really, really, really well. Only one problem. I had an armadillo in my yard this season and it dug it up and I had to replant it. So I'm hoping it survived all of that and will come back this year. Cannot wait for this garden season because this is one of the areas in my yard that I made some changes to this current season. And I want to see how those play out in the coming months and coming years.